Just a New York Times article I put on the back here. I'll also put the link on this video so you can read the whole thing in case you missed it. But it talks about a parent who recognized that she herself actually probably had ADHD after her son was diagnosed. Pretty common thing for us to see. In fact, when a child is diagnosed with ADHD, 50% of the parents, so one of the parents probably have it. 20 to 30% of siblings probably have it. So if one family member is affected, the others, at least somebody may have it. So something to look at. And this article is very interesting because it talks about the difference between girls and boys, or men and women who actually have ADHD. And the fundamental difference is that boys tend to be disruptive. So they get identified. Maybe they're emotionally reactive, and so you see these things, or they're kind of hyperactive in class, and so you see these things, and teachers can see that. They're called out, maybe they get an evaluation, but it talks about the difference in girls, and girls actually are the ones that aren't disruptive. Now, they might get caught talking a little bit extra and things like that, but they tend to keep it inside and more internalize these things. And so they also talked about a very important point that we see often, and that is that over time, if these things are undetected, these symptoms, the neurobiological symptoms that are actually causing the problem, are mistaken for things like anxiety and depression. So those are actually the after effects of the ADHD, because you start building this erroneous self-image of, boy, I'm just not good enough, I can't follow through, I can't do the things, and actually you can, but you have this problem. And so a lot of times we'll see young people, especially in this area, the article talks about this too, that are very high functioning, and so they can overcome things for the most part till the bar is raised high enough. So probably, I used to say the latest I've seen was a Stanford student actually had anxiety, or not anxiety, but had ADHD and dyslexia. And turns out he didn't even see it until he was in medical school. But he's super smart, super high functioning. And then I've seen actually people way later than that, like 60 years old, and they had a whole career of having people do the details for them, right? So anyway, this can go undetected longer and longer, especially if you're bright. And then children tend to make the mistake of kind of beating themselves up. I just can't do this. I'm just not good enough. But the other really interesting thing is this woman who the article was about talked about going to college, and the structure's taken away. And then she didn't do well. In fact, she lost her scholarships. We see this all the time. So there's really good reasons to kind of take a look at these things, especially in COVID-19, if you're doing remote school or hybrid and you're kind of looking over at your child and you're like, wow, what's going on? They don't seem to be able to focus. And I never realized that. Really good reasons to take a look at that, because today with modern technology, you can actually help them overcome these things. It's pretty amazing. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. I'll put the link down if you're interested in reading this article. It's very interesting, covers a lot of really good topics, just kind of an overall summary. Have a great weekend, everybody, and